Yogurt has always been a friend to your breakfast table and your gut, but now it's breaking out of the kitchen and trotting right into the veterinary clinic, wagging a tail of scientific ambition. That's right, dairy-derived extracellular vesicles, EVs. Those microscopic packets of bioactive goodness naturally secreted during fermentation are now being eyed for a very different clientele: dogs with torn ligaments, cats with surgical wounds, horses with cracked hooves, and even aging parrots with osteoarthritic joints. Welcome to the surprisingly wholesome and futuristic world of yogurt EVs in cross-species regenerative medicine. The basic premise is this: yogurt-derived EVs are nanoscale delivery agents, like UPS trucks made of lipids and proteins, that carry a payload of healing messages such as peptides, miRNAs, and growth-promoting signals. These EVs are already being studied in human medicine for their anti-inflammatory and regenerative properties, but their application in veterinary medicine opens a pasture-sized opportunity for species-spanning healing strategies that are affordable, scalable, and surprisingly snackable. Animals, much like humans, suffer from a suite of tissue repair challenges: delayed wound healing, inflammation after orthopedic surgeries, degenerative joint conditions, and post-injury muscle wasting. In veterinary settings, particularly with high-value or performance animals, racehorses, show dogs, livestock, regenerative therapies are in high demand, but stem cell treatments and recombinant growth factors often come with steep costs and questionable logistics. Yogurt-derived EVs, embedded in hydrogels or administered directly to wounds, offer a bio-friendly, cost-effective alternative that could speed up recovery without requiring ultra-complex infrastructure. Let's take wound healing as the gateway application. When yogurt EVs are incorporated into a hydrogel matrix, often made from biocompatible proteins like casein or whey, they form a moist, bioactive dressing that promotes faster epithelial closure. In animal models, such as dogs or pigs with burn wounds, these EVs reduce local inflammation, increase angiogenesis, and accelerate collagen deposition. Translation: less limping, less licking, and more tail wagging in less time. And unlike synthetic dressings, dairy-based hydrogels are biodegradable and unlikely to trigger immune rejection, even in more sensitive species. Then there's the orthopedic angle. Bone regeneration in animals, particularly fractures or post-operative defects, is notoriously tricky, especially in larger breeds or older animals with slower healing capacity. Yogurt EVs contain osteoinductive signals that can stimulate osteoblast proliferation and matrix mineralization, supporting scaffold-based bone repair. Imagine a goat with a fractured tibia healing faster with a yogurt EV-loaded bone paste. It's not science fiction, it's science dairy fiction, and it's catching on. Even chronic inflammatory conditions in animals, like feline gingivitis or canine arthritis, could benefit from yogurt EV therapies. Their ability to suppress overactive immune responses and encourage tissue remodeling makes them promising for intra-articular injections or mucosal gels. And given that yogurt EVs are derived from a food source, their safety profile is considerably more favorable than experimental drugs, particularly important in animals that have a tendency to lick, chew, or otherwise investigate their own wounds. Cross-species application also brings a unique advantage. The molecular payload in yogurt EVs is naturally broad-spectrum. These vesicles aren't custom-designed for one species. They're full of general-purpose cell signaling tools honed by millions of years of evolutionary milk magic. Early studies show that yogurt EVs can interact with epithelial cells and immune cells from multiple mammalian species, including humans, pigs, dogs, and rabbits. It's like discovering that your Wi-Fi works in 5 different houses. You didn't plan it, but it's pretty great. What really makes this approach charming is its low-tech elegance. Dairy is cheap, abundant, and renewable. Yogurt fermentation is already part of global food systems, and extracting EVs is significantly less expensive than isolating stem cells or producing recombinant proteins. In rural or low-resource veterinary settings, this makes yogurt EVs a potential game-changer. Imagine farmers using local dairy byproducts to treat livestock wounds, or shelters using yogurt-based gels for post-spay recovery. It's regenerative medicine with a dash of farm-to-clinic flair. Of course, regulatory hurdles remain. Veterinary medicine, while more flexible than human drug approval pathways, still requires safety and efficacy data, particularly for food-producing animals. But the fact that these therapies stem from food-grade sources gives them a head start on the approval process. So whether it's a galloping racehorse, a pampered house cat, or a limping llama, yogurt's microscopic messengers might soon be quietly rebuilding tissue, soothing inflammation, and regenerating limbs, all without ever being labeled medicine in the traditional sense. It's wholesome, it's high-tech, and it might just be the most surprisingly nutritious thing to happen to animal healthcare since someone put peanut butter in a pill pocket.